Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to my channel for the World Grand Prix Darts 2025 Day 4 prediction odds, betting tips, ACCAs, order of play and TV times. The second round of the Bohr Sports World Grand Prix concludes in Leicester on Thursday's night. So here's the Chris Hammers match by match preview and best bets. But before you get into YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. We've got four more matches before we know our quarterfinal lineup. Two quarterfinals are already sorted. So Luke Humphries against Cameron Menzies, and Danny Noppert will face Gary Anderson. So first up, Dirk van Duijvenbode versus Daryl Gurney. Dirk van Duijvenbode's victory over six-time World Grand Prix champion Michael van Gerwyn may have grabbed more attention than Daryl Gurney overcoming Ross Smith, but it was actually the latter result which surprised me more. But Weathers, the Dutchman has been performing pretty well this season, but Daryl Gurney's form was not at Smith's level at all heading into the event. But in the end, Super Chim stormed through with a loss just one leg. Van Duijvenbode's result did come against a strong performance, with MVG averaging almost 89 compared to Smith's 78, while he's also had to hold his nerve in a deciding leg of a second set. But I do feel the 2020 runner-up is the stronger player right now, and should come through this while also expected to hit the most 180s given his superior maximum per leg ratio. I'm going Daryl Gurney to win and hitting the most 180s at 5-4. That is going to be a good bet. But I'm going for Dirk van Duijvenbode to win 3-2. Then second matchup, Clayton will face Luke Woodhouse. Luke Woodhouse produced one of the finest deciding leg comebacks in the World Grand Prix history to reflect the fifth successive first round exit on Damon Heta. He will need another Herculean effort to end Jonny Clayton's title challenge. The Englishman missed 7 darts at starting double before finally beginning what seemed to be a lost cause against Heta, who had already reduced his score to 310 before darting madness descended on Leicester. 3 visits later, he pulled off a miracle thanks to a pair of 180s and a 90 checkout, which will fill him with no end of belief against a vulnerable opponent. Clayton enjoyed a much more simmery journey into the second round as he brushed aside Andrew Gilding, and his average of 88 was decent enough, but considering he was up against a player those styles has tended to be a bit awkward for him in the past. But Clayton, who lifted this trophy during his golden year of 2021, finished runner-up at the World Masters back in February, but also reached 2 semi-finals at the UK Open and the World Match Play. So he's clearly enjoying a resurgence this season, but his stats and results are also the far superior to Woodhouse, but I do expect him, the ferret, to race into the quarterfinals. I'm going for Jonny Clayton to win 3-1. And then third up, Luke Littler will face Mike Dedeker. When Luke Littler is involved in a record-breaking match, it's pretty much always him doing the history making. However, despite only dropping 2 legs in an explosive 10-minute first round match that exceeded all the hype, his astonishing average of 105.58 was eclipsed by an unlucky loser, Gian van Veen's 106.47. That was not only the highest losing average, but in the competition's 28 history by about 8 points, but also tipped Allen Warner Little's icon overall record of 106.45, which has stood largely unthreatened since 2001. Hopefully, we will see plenty more Littler versus Van Veen showstoppers in years to come, But next on the world champions agenda is opponent who was widely tipped to be one of the greatest threats ever, since he stunned Luke Humphries to win last year's double start major. Mike Dedeker subsequently gave Littler a real scare in last year's Grand Slam of darts, but although he hasn't kicked on like most people expected to him, but he has managed to reach 2 finals in 2025, losing both to the Nuke at the Belgian Darts Open and the Australian Masters. Littler has won 6 of all of their previous meetings, 4 which being on the televised stage and another on the European Tour, while the levels has showing on Tuesday night. It's going to be hard for anyone to stop. And I've thrown in Littler to hit the most 180s into the mix. Win most 180s and highest checkout, but even though Dedeker has drawn with him 4 of their 6 meetings, and the fact that only managed just 1 against Van Veen. However, over a longer match, I expected him to find his range in an era of a game that he's more destructive than anyone. But I'm going for Littler to win 3-0. Right, fourth, then last match up. Gerwyn Price will face Josh Rock. If Luke Littler hasn't already raised the roof with a spectacular performance against Mike Dedeker, I'm sure Gerwyn Price and Josh Rock will blow it clear off in a clash, and that intensifies blockbuster. But the pair treated us to a belting world match play quarter-final back in July, when Rock completed a 16-11 triumph with a stunning 164 checkout, while they were also fireworks on the stage during an epic World Cup final a month later. What a match and what a player. Josh Rock fires in a stunning 164 checkout to beat Gerwyn Price in incredible scenes. This is Chris Hammer said, this is one of the most incredible deciding legs to win in any darts tournament ever. Astonishing achievement from Daryl, Gurney and Josh Rock, but great sportsmanship from Price and Clayton at the end of the greatest World Cup final ever. Those results saw Rock get more than enough revenge for Price's victory in a Players' Championship final earlier this season, when the Iceman defied a stunning an average of 110.70 to win 8-7. But overall this year, they are level at 2 apiece, with Price also edging a World Series encounter. The Welshman Pricey has won 6 individual titles compared to Rock's solitary 1 this season, although their year-long averages couldn't be closer. But Price overcame a slow start to power pass Ryan Searle in round 1, and now the format is longer. I expected him to look much more comfortable from the get-go. In a format he's grown to love over the recent years, but Rock survived a huge scare to Lamsgate the past, the dangerous dark horse Ryan Joyce in a deciding leg. But while this could be a cracking affair, but I do fancy the experience of 2020 champion to come through by 3-2. So that's my predictions then for the World Grand Prix of Darts 2025. Leave on your comments below. Let's listen to 2 videos before I finish the video though. Is that it here? That's when Josh Rock took out a 164. on! Woo. Wow. Alright, that's it for now for the World Grand Prix 2025 predictions, day 4. Leave them in the comments below, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, peace out.